Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Karen, the Women's Midlife Specialist. And how about another lab assessment? This one is actually a little bit more difficult because SD is 46 years old and she's premenopausal and she has regular periods. If she didn't have regular periods, it would say that out here, irregular, because on the sheet it gives you an opportunity to put whether those are regular periods and or if they're irregular. Okay, so she's not, take a look down here under therapies. She's not on any therapy, not on any treatment for hormones, though she is taking twice daily iodine and seaweed. Now, seaweed has iodine in it, so I suspect that's what she's looking to get is iodine. And people use that to try to boost their thyroid metabolism. And she's also taking some rhodiola rosea. She's also using a Siberian ginseng. This isn't American or Asian. She's using a Siberian ginseng, a little bit different, not an adaptogenic herb, but it is um, a more of an energy former. Siberian ginseng, and then some magnesium maybe for relaxation and well, women are pretty low in magnesium in general. Rhodiola is a very good adrenal adaptogen. Okay, so we know she's working on her thyroid and her adrenal glands, and did these labs to see, well, what's going on with my sex hormones. Now, so we see a low estradiol and a normal progesterone and a good progesterone to estrogen ratio. Very fortunately, no estrogen dominance. Now, if her estradiol had been more in the normal range, 1.3 to 3.3, she'd actually be a little estrogen dominant. But she, at this time of taking her labs, her estradiol was a little low. Her DHEA, 7.5, is average for her age. I'll show you why I know that in a moment. And testosterone is not bad for her age. Let's take a look at these graphs and you'll see what I'm talking about. So here's the testosterone. Here's her age, 46 years old. And she's right here, this dot. And a 30-year-old is up right here. So not bad. She's at the higher end of normal of testosterone. Progesterone is average for her age. Her estradiol is low for her age. And if we want to optimize it, we're sitting really up here. Now, where we would want to be up here. Now, her DHEA is a little above average for her age. And if we want to optimize that, 30-year-old level would be somewhere up here. And her AM cortisol is high in the morning. She drew it or collected it just a little before 6 a.m. And average would be where I did this red block, and she's up here in her morning cortisol. Now, we don't know what her day cortisol is during the day, but let's take a look at her symptoms and see if we can get to know SD just a little bit better by looking at her symptoms. Okay, here's the overview of her symptoms, and they collect these symptoms and put them in these categories for us. So we see that the top three are low metabolism or hypometabolism. That up here is the worst of everything of all her symptoms when you gather them all together. Low androgens is another one. Metabolic syndrome is up here. She has a BMI of 32, so anything over 29 is obese. So we're significantly overweight. So we've got, and her symptoms certainly show that she's got symptoms, a lot of symptoms of metabolic syndrome. High cortisol, which is this one here. So she's showing signs of high cortisol, trying to treat that with rhodiola and Siberian ginseng. And then she also has the next one up would be low cortisol and estrogen and progesterone deficiency. And we know that her estrogen is low, but the progesterone is not. We got that through her labs. And her least symptoms of all, basically, it's in the green, no symptoms of estrogen dominance, which we know is also correct in terms of her labs. Okay, so if we look at specifically her symptoms, if we look at some of these symptoms, I want to show you how so many of them really point to low metabolism. We've got foggy thinking and memory lapse. This is commonly low metabolism as well as low estrogen as well as low testosterone. So I didn't really, it could be any one of those. But look at these. We've got aches and pains highly associated with low metabolism, evening fatigue, weight gain, decreased stamina, and know that thyroid and low androgens commonly cross. So even though she doesn't have low androgens like testosterone and DHEA, she's normal for her age, the symptoms of low androgens and low thyroid often are the same. Here's a big one, swelling and puffy eyes and face. This is specifically thyroid. Nails breaking and brittle, specifically thyroid. So these two are specifically thyroid. Decreased stamina, weight gain, evening fatigue, aches and pains. There can be some thyroid with sleep disturbance, and memory and foggy thinking is commonly thyroid as well. So the big thing I see here is thyroid, metabolic syndrome, and cortisol. We do have a low estrogen, but I'm going to take you there, and I'm going to take you where I'm thinking here. But I spent quite a bit of time looking this over for SD because I see such a significant picture in these other areas. So since it's such a mix of everything, and this is what I'm suspecting: thyroid, adrenals, blood sugar, primary, most important, we've got to focus on these three things right away. So this is the product I recommend, Thyrotain. She's trying to treat it with iodine. That's simply not going to do it. It's not enough. This is a comprehensive, holistic supplement for your thyroid gland. If this doesn't do it, and you're working with the other things with the adrenal glands at the same time, you may SD need a thyroid medication. So what this supplement has in it, it has plenty of iodine and tyrosine in it, but it also has ashwagandha, a nice hefty dose of 300 milligrams. Turmeric is an anti-inflammatory here for turmeric for inflammation of the thyroid. Commonly Hashimoto's is an autoimmune response and can cause inflammation of the thyroid gland. All of the nutrients that are required in order to convert precursors for the enzymes to work to make thyroid hormone. So this is what I recommend. 2 capsules. Start with 2 capsules in the morning, and then in a couple of weeks increase to 2 capsules twice daily. So let's move on to my next concern, and that's the adrenal glands. And so what we've got is, I want to show you here my recommended 3 adrenal products: Adrenovive, Adaptin-All, and Adrenal. Now, I've been talking a lot about these adrenal products and adrenal glands in general. A lot of people have been asking questions about this. So I thought that I would use SD's video for this opportunity to tell you about these 3 products in here as well. So Adrenovive has all the adaptogenic herbs and some L-theanine and phosphatidylserine that help support the adrenal glands and help calm the adrenal function. And adrenal dysfunction is really what it is. So this is a calming, very calming, adaptogenic herbal product that has no adrenal glandulars in it and no nutrients in it. So if you are not on a good multivitamin supplement, you still need that with this Adrenovive, no matter no matter what, you need a good baseline nutrient supplementation. Now, Adaptinol is a great product if somebody does not want to start on a complete um, nutrient support, multivitamin, omega 3s, etc., because it has not only the adrenal adaptogens, it's got the nutrients needed specifically for adrenal dysfunction. Now, Adrenal takes you the next step. Before we go there, let me just say with Adrenavive and Adaptinol, you can use either one of these products with either a high cortisol or a low cortisol. But with Adrenal, I do not recommend using this product if you have a high cortisol, which SD has a high cortisol in the morning. We don't want to use that. Or if you have significant anxiety, you don't really want to start with Adrenal. You want to start with either Adrenavive or Adaptinol, because Adrenal is like Adaptinol in that it has all the nutrients that you need and all the nutrients that you need for adrenal function, and then it has all the adaptogenic herbs that you need for adrenal function, but it also has adrenal concentrate from a bovine source. So this is for those low cortisols, those people with low cortisols, and those who are exhausted. Okay, so I want you to notice those similarities. Now, for SD, you're going to need either Adaptinol or you're going to need Adrenavive. Um, if you're not on a nutrient supplement, comprehensive supplement, I would recommend that you get on that. And I don't have that listed here. There is a video I do want you to watch though, SD, and everyone really. I did it on April 2nd. We posted it at 6 p.m. You can find it there on our Facebook site, or you can find it on my YouTube channel. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to that so you don't miss any videos. I have quite a few videos there, so you don't want to miss any of those. Go subscribe. It was listed on April 2nd at 6 p.m. So I also talk about nutrient supplementation in that one, as well as others. Okay, so now we've talked about thyroid, we've talked about adrenals. Now let's talk about metabolic, our metabolic issue. Oh boy. We've got a few things here to recommend, but go back to that video from April 2nd. And what you really are going to need is a low glycemic carbohydrate diet with adequate protein and adequate healthy fat. This is going to nip those metabolic syndrome symptoms very quickly if you can maintain this. This is very important. So you want to eliminate all breads, pastas, all processed foods, my darling, and massively increase those vegetables. Only use 1 tablespoon of oil on your salad. Don't drown your salad with oil, and use primarily balsamic vinegar. Add healthy fats, half to 1 avocado per day. There's other healthy fats, pumpkin seeds, nuts, hummus, tahini, tofu, lots of healthy fats that you can eat. Olives and olive oil. Try to eat the food, but when you eat the oil, let's stick with 1 tablespoon of oil on your salad, because I want you to lose weight. And sometimes what happens is even vegans can be overweight because they eat too much oil. They may eat too much oil. Remember, it's got more than twice the number of calories per gram, and you can go overboard on that if you think that it's free food. It's not. We want you to get your BMI down, because that's going to make you feel a whole lot better and nip that metabolic syndrome problem in the bud. Okay, so fruits right now, we've got to be low in sugar. So fruits are high in sugar. So we certainly won't eat any dried fruit, but I want you right now to focus on berries, raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, boysenberries, all the berries. They're free range, lemons, limes. And in terms of one other type of fruit, an apple a day or a half an apple a day is fine. It's got a lot of pectin, a lot of fiber, and that will counteract that sugar that's in the apple. Okay, so very low sugar, no diet foods. We don't want to substitute with diet foods. We need a healthy food. We need a lot of nutrition to heal this body. So we also want to do minimum dairy. Remember, there's a lot of lactose sugars in dairy. So if you're eating yogurt, make sure you get a plain Greek yogurt, high in protein, low in fat. And if you have to have dessert, you got to be careful. So with the dessert, we want to go something like Arctic Zero that has very, very low sugar. This whole container is only 35 calories. It's high in protein, low in carbon sugars, and you can have some dark chocolate. So be careful with the serving size. I recommend maybe going half the serving size that they recommend. A half of a bar is a serving size. Go 1/4 of a bar at a time. All right, so that gives you an idea of how to get that metabolic syndrome under control and lose some weight while you're doing everything else. Now, finally, what about sex hormones? Well, I put this last because I want you to focus on thyroid with the thyroidane, adrenal dysfunction with one of the adrenal products, and your diet first and foremost. These sex hormones are important, very important, but the other ones are, when I look at your symptoms, and really this is about your symptoms, right? We're trying to focus on symptoms and then we look at numbers. There's an old saying in medical school, if all else fails, look at the patient. I mean, isn't that really a joke? And it was meant to be a joke in medical school, because what has happened in today's medicine is nobody's looking at the patient anymore. Nobody's touching the patient anymore. We're just looking at numbers. And we don't do that here at Women's Midlife Specialists. Even though I don't see you, I get this opportunity to look at your symptoms, and your symptoms are pointing to thyroid, metabolic dysfunction, and adrenal dysfunction. Now, you do have a low estradiol. You are 46, though. That's still quite young. You're premenopausal, and you have regular periods. So these three things indicate to me we got to fix these other things first. If you were irregular, a little bit older, actually the age doesn't matter to me as much as irregular versus regular period, and whether or not you have some abnormal estrogen dominance. That worries me more than anything else, is estrogen dominance. So really what I want to recommend is you can start, because of your sleep issue. Now, I'm still focused on your adrenals. Because your sleep is disturbed and you're waking up with a high cortisol, this is what I would recommend. 1 pump of Hormone Protect on days 7 through 14, and 2 pumps of Hormone Protect on days 15 to 28. Now, this is not low, but by using this Hormone Protect, it's going to bring this progesterone level up, but it will not mess up your progesterone to estrogen ratio. It'll be higher. It'll be higher than 120. It'll be closer to 350, 400, which is still optimal. So this may fluctuate. This estradiol is going to fluctuate because you're still having regular periods. So this happened to catch you at 0.9. This is going to continue to fluctuate. So I have a feeling that this is a very good addition to your regimen. And then over the next 2 to 3 years, I want you to watch out for more sex hormone needs and changes. Anticipate that these are going to be happening. They are going to happen less if you start with this Hormone Protect, because this is going to pop up this ratio even better, and this is going to also help you sleep better. So Hormone Protect will help bring that cortisol down. Remember, progesterone is the precursor to cortisol. So you'll say, well, why am I taking progesterone if it's the precursor to cortisol? Because one of the reasons that your cortisol is probably elevated in the morning is because you're not sleeping. So we need to get this sleep issue under control, and I highly recommend this as an excellent way to help you. Okay, so that's what I got for you, SD. This was a tough one, and it was tough because there's a lot of things going on, but follow this, and I think that you will do so much better. Let me know how you're doing, okay? And go over to my YouTube channel, everyone. Subscribe there, and we've gotten a lot more subscribers in the last couple of weeks. So I love to see that because as soon as I put out a video, you'll have access to it. You won't have to wait for it to come onto Facebook. Okay, and I know there's quite a number of you waiting for your labs, and I'm going to put one a day on Facebook. Every now and then we'll do two a day, but your video may be up on YouTube before I even get it up on Facebook. So give me a thumbs up, everybody. Tell me you like what I'm doing. Let me know you're there behind a computer screen, and I want to know you're there. Give me a thumbs up, comment, tell me what you think, tell me how you feel, and what is going on. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.